This video will focus on hemoglobin and myoglobin, two examples of globular proteins. The globular proteins are a class of protein that is coiled into compact shapes with hydrophilic or water-loving side chains oriented towards the outer surface that make them water-soluble, and the hydrophobic side chains are oriented toward the interior of the protein. This is the opposite of membrane proteins, which have hydrophobic side chains oriented toward the outside of the protein in order to interact with the fatty acid chains in the phospholipid bilayer. Here, I will discuss two different globular proteins, hemoglobin and myoglobin. Both hemoglobin and myoglobin are considered conjugated proteins, which means it is a protein unit bound to a prosthetic group, an organic molecule that is essential for the protein's activity. The prosthetic group for both hemoglobin and myoglobin is called the heme group. This heme group, a large cyclic molecule with an iron ion, is where oxygen will bind. The larger protein structure determines how strongly oxygen will be bound to the heme. Myoglobin functions as the oxygen storage molecule in muscles and binds oxygen more strongly than hemoglobin. It is considered a monomer, which means it is only comprised of one polypeptide chain. Since it only has one heme group, it can only bind one oxygen molecule. Hemoglobin, which is present in red blood cells, is the oxygen transport protein in animals. Hemoglobin has 4 peptide chains, each with a heme group. So each hemoglobin can actually transport 4 molecules of oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. Oxygen is transferred from hemoglobin to myoglobin, since myoglobin has the stronger affinity for oxygen. The molecule carbon monoxide is dangerous for us since it binds to the iron ion of hemoglobin 200 times more strongly than does oxygen. Hemoglobin bound to carbon monoxide cannot carry oxygen from the lungs to the tissues, and the oxygen supply becomes depleted.